And he said, I went to a top tech private conference with 200 top tech leaders, sworn to secrecy, so I can't say the names. This is the guy worth $4 billion at that time. You know, owns one of the biggest infrastructure companies out there for IT, Sun Microsystems. And he says, it was very upsetting. It was how, do we kill everybody or do we just cull most of the people and then let them be entertained by the new technocracy? And the elite's leaning towards killing everybody. And then he goes on to quote Theodore Kaczynski. Why did Kaczynski, this professor, this doctor, admitted, LA Times reports, CIA operative, he quits, runs to the bush, and starts bombing people for a decade. Bombing people over key technocracies. I'm not defending what he did, but that's a real environmentalist. Kaczynski said, my God, they're planning to create a total grid, create a new species of humanoids. This is what the elites say they're doing, merging with cybernetics and getting rid of most of us. He said, I gotta go kill these people. I mean, I can go down the line. And then you've got all the other transhumanists, and I don't mean the general transhumanists. They always email me and go, how dare you say we're bad? You know, I'm blind and I want to have sight. You're not really a transhumanist. Julian Huxley, the brother of Aldous Huxley, the head of the United Nations UNESCO department, first general of it, secretary general of it, said that eugenics got a bad name with Hitler going too far too quickly. We're going to call it transhumanism. The issue is Ray Kurzweil and all them say the same crap, how most of us are about to be wiped out. We're going to break all this down when we get back and get into the control grid.
The New World Order beast is genetically modifying your food, mixing vegetables with animals, and now experimenting with viruses. Without a long-term food solution, you will have just two options: starve, or surrender. All canned food supplies will eventually run out. What then? Grow your own healthy food and feed your family forever. SurvivalistSeeds.com is now the nation's largest bulk heirloom seed company, and it's owned by a real patriot, Big John Lipscomb. You can now have an infinite amount of healthy vegetables like a watermelon, a bundle of carrots, or tomatoes for a little more than a penny each. SurvivalistSeeds.com. And now you can go into business with Big John at SurvivalistSeeds.com by becoming an affiliate. See his link at SurvivalistSeeds.com.
Yesterday, I explained how they get us to opt into the Matrix, how they make it entertaining. The new Xbox scans your body 360, and you get to scan real objects and live in the fantasy world, and it's better than the real world. And the kids don't talk to each other anymore. They just sit there texting, and adults don't communicate anymore. And massive television watching causes Alzheimer's and destroys language abilities. Literally hundreds and hundreds of studies on record reporting this. And there's a global standardized world ID system, not just a national ID through Real ID. There's a global treaty signed in 2000 in Australia by UN signatories, including the United States. And even if Congress doesn't ratify this stuff, it's all standardized and done by the bureaucracies. And they brought in this system. So we now have a hemispheric ID card. Have you seen the radio and TV ads and print ads about, go right through airports inside the U.S., we accept the hemispheric cards. If you're flying from Dallas to L.A., it doesn't matter if you're not leaving the U.S., have this federal hemisphere card, and you'll go to the front of the line. And then see, the feds are saying you'll have to have that card soon, but they're getting people to opt in. They're beta testing it. They're fine-tuning it. Now you got to have a passport to go to Mexico or go to Canada. They got to have it to come here. Now you get thumbprinted and face scanned randomly when you leave the U.S., even if you're a citizen. All the foreigners coming in have to do it. And so in treaty agreements, when you go to England or Germany or anywhere in the world that's signed on to these agreements, that's most of the West, some of the third world, they digitally take a photo. They digitally thumbprint when you leave. And I want to get to this exhibit first. One of our employees at the school in Hayes County tried to steal our 8-year-old daughter because she was wearing shorts and had a little bruise on her leg. That made news. And they admit that, Walmart employees are told if a parent grabs their kid and speaks to them loudly, that's a crime, that your kid has to be taken. I got the CPS manual given to my employee saying if you raise your voice, we're going to take your child, official state manual. I mean, talk about police state. Raise your voice now, we take your kid. But the cops can shoot you in the back and taser you, and it's no big deal. See how the state can have all this authority, but parents can't have any. And then society breaks down, which then means there needs to be more federal control. It's the only strong man. It's the only thing that is Mayor Daley, the mob boss, the son of the most famous mob boss in U.S. history. He wants your guns because he's going to make you love him. He's going to take care of you. Well, one of the guys that works here in the office brought this in. And we were already aware of this going on nationwide with the CHIPS program, with the Masons, put it on, and all these other groups doing it, all federally funded. They get grants to do this. But McGruff the Crime Dog is directly federally funded. And through the National Ad Council, they're running national TV ads showing in red and black uniforms the new Obama armies doing military drills and saying, this is my uniform, this is what I wear. And they're going to march out across America and already are knocking on doors to canvass whether you support Barack Obama or not. They have a little GPS separate from the census, and they mark down if you're friend or foe. That isn't a free society. And so under the National Ad Council, elementary schools, public schools, Head Start, which they advertise for blue collar, white collar. Oh, it's free health care. We have a mobile van that helps your kids. Even if you're paying at the daycare, they still bring Head Start in without asking you, and CPS is there. And under Head Start now you get 3 CPS visits a year. Well, here's what the kids get. They get a little badge to feel like they're a little Stasi tattletale with McGruff the Crime Dog. This is the Cashless Society cybersecurity system. Here's McGruff's Safe Kids Total ID system, and they give this to public school kids under another program here in Austin, where they give you $200 if you turn in your parents. That's the highest bonus if you write a report on what's in the medicine cabinet or are they smoking marijuana. And then I have a mainstream news article today where the judges are saying, we'll let you off for that marijuana if you sterilize yourself. We got a free sterilization for you. I have that article right here. So one of the fellows here in our office, we're going to not say his name, a McGruff Safe Kids Total ID system, and right here is the little scan disc for your child's history. They have social workers that ask them questions under this. Are mommy and daddy spanking you? Are they yelling at you? Because we've got a nice foster home, especially if you're blonde-haired and blue-eyed like this little girl. She better be careful, because they can get $500,000 for them. So, and people can't believe this is happening. I had a senator on a few weeks ago from Georgia, where if she was naming names of where there are bounties, we need this many blonde hair, blue eyes this week. And they got Walmart employees, everybody watching. You yell at your kid, boom, police are there, take them, they're gone, they get $500,000. Walmart gets a few grand out of it. And I showed you USA Today where Walmart and pizza places and everybody run your criminal background when you pay with a credit card, and then you wonder why cops pull you over when you leave the parking lot. They've got the whole grid in place. Yes, it's already in place. So take a bite out of crime, how to tattle on your parents. Here's the DNA collection kit. They fearmonger the parents. Give us your DNA. We don't want kidnappers to grab your kids unless you're DynCorp and Halliburton, who admittedly run giant child kidnapping rings, and Congress brings it up and they go, yeah, we run kidnapping rings. We had to pay a fine. It's no big deal. So now, of course, they don't tell the parents, by the way, we already took your kid's blood at birth. We just want other tissue samples out of their mouth right now because we want you to think that we got their DNA this way. That's why all over the country, Tennessee, Texas, you name it, California, they have thumb scanners and hand scanners in the car. And when they pull you over for a traffic ticket or a checkpoint, they say, we need to run your scan here at the checkpoint. And people go, there's even YouTube videos, this where they go, hey, I got a camera. What do you mean you want to take my fingerprints? We got to make sure you're not wanted and this isn't a fake ID. Guilty until proven innocent. Now, what did they do to this little girl? We've got her name and her little slave card. And this is what happens when you're in preschool now. McGruff's Safe Kids Total ID System. Help take a bite out of crime. Hey, McGruff, how about you stop the CIA shipping in heroin and cocaine and running child kidnapping rings? And it's a little girl. She's got blonde hair and blue eyes. Oh, you can see that in her little slave card. CPS is flipping through this right now, looking for any reason. I'm sorry I have to inform everybody. And look, biometrics. They had her scan. This was inkless, and they put her digital image of her little fingers. They've now got them all. And she'll be trained in public schools nationwide. Over half of them now make you thumbprint to buy and sell. Austin, make sure you use thumbprints to get your food, to get your school books. You have to do it. Europe's implemented the same system. Australia, total slave. But don't worry, everybody's a slave now. Okay? So this is all kept by the feds and by McGruff, the child kidnapping dog. He goes out and sniffs out the blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids. It looks like he found one. And, of course, they want the dental chart. They need to know everything when they're trafficking your kids.